And welcome to our very first show with the Pensacola Historical Dream Cottages. And we're wanting to come out here and tell folks what we do and how we do it. And I'd like to introduce you to Mouse. This is a friend of mine that we work together at the Pensacola Historical Dream Cottages. Welcome aboard on the show. Thank you for being here today as my cohort.
Thank you.
So we've been asked a lot about what we do and how we do what we do. And so we're here to tell everybody a little bit about how you can actually start creating cash flow streams out of creating houses that can continue paying you years and years after you complete the work. But you can also do things like you can see behind us. You can actually save neighborhoods. If you have a neighborhood that you don't like certain houses in it or something, you can actually be part of the solution instead of just going, gee, my neighborhood's not good or whatever. You can actually take part in a neighborhood restoration like what we've done. So,
well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Why old houses? Did you always want to own an old house?
Actually, yes. I was raised in government subsidized housing, so we had little 8-foot ceilings with popcorn with glitter in it, and that was the fanciness of our houses. And so I actually was invited to come to Pensacola, because I'm from Panama City, and it's more of a 40s area. And I was invited to come over here by a friend of mine that had moved to Pensacola when I was in high school. And I was introduced to the North Hill Historical Preservation District, and it was just amazing because we didn't have anything like that in Panama City. So it was gorgeous, big mansions, that were great big front porches and rockers, and we went to a place called Hopkins House at the time. That was a boarding house right in the middle of North Hill, and you could just sit down with a bunch of people and say, pass the peas, and it was awesome. And so when I was introduced to that, I was like, wow, this is what I'm into. This is what I'd like to do. This is what I'd like to have eventually.
Right.
And then I was actually able to move over to Pensacola, in the early 80s. And we found a house that was about to be torn down. And it was a big old cool house that, had just been abandoned for many years. And he had a huge termite infestation. It was falling off its foundation. It just needed everything, and nobody wanted to do the work. And I just couldn't see it torn down. So we stopped him from, stopped the demo permit.
Right.
And I didn't really even know how to restore a house. So I went to get, plumbing for dummies and wiring for dummies from the big box stores and ask everybody questions. And we gutted that to stud and just started over. And basically learned how to do all this, on the first house. And and we still have that house. It ended up a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 1896 historical home, and that's where we have our home office and everything that we run our cottages out of.
Right. So did your family and friends think you had lost your mind?
They really did. I think my mom cried. When she saw it, she was like, what have you done? Everybody looked at me like I was a little crazy. But I was unproven at that time.
Well,
I'd
it's
never
a big
done
undertaking.
anything. It was a huge undertaking, because a lot of people start off with something bite-sized, and I had a whole elephant. So, but, we kept working at it. And I guess I was probably working on that renovation because I had to learn how to do it before I could do it. So we actually gutted it to stud, took the windows out, took the doors out, took the trim out, had to rewire it, replumb it, jack it, level it, so it was a ton of work. But then I noticed one block over from where I was doing all this work in the beautiful Historical Preservation District, because a lot of people don't realize North Hill is the largest historical preservation district that's residential in the entire state of Florida.
Right.
So it's kind of a jewel in the crown of Pensacola.
Absolutely.
And so we basically started, noticing one block over was really kind of a strip of, urban blight that had never healed. From the Great Depression. So,
Wow.
It had just always been bad for many, many years. And, I can, kind of kept thinking that, gee, why doesn't the city do something about this area? Or why doesn't a rich developer come in and fix up this area? And I realized, after about 9 years of working on that property, that, the city really doesn't have the power to change an area. And, big developers, it's just too much work,
Right.
So I started one at a time buying the houses on that western border and basically redoing what I did to the first house. We call the first house the manor. And basically, we got, one at a time started redoing that entire western border.
Right.
So it's really a completely different place now. We have some really awesome tenants and stuff. So we basically started the Pensacola Historical Dream Cottages. And so we have, I don't know, probably in the range of 50 historical cottages that have probably 75 rentable units. And we've got, I think, over 20 fully furnished units. We're very popular with the upper echelon military.
Right,
and
that's
stuff.
what I was going to ask you too. Who is your clientele?
Yeah,
Who do you market to?
Well, we just throw it out there, and and the people that tend to come is we've got a lot of we've had doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs, and a lot of the pilots and navigators and crew people, corpsmen and flight surgeons and stuff, because it's right downtown. It's very close to everything, and that's where everybody wants to be. It's 12 minutes from the beach.
Right.
4 minutes from downtown, and there's 20 or 25, 30 restaurants, within 3 or 4 minute drive. So it's a great area to be in.
It is. And there's
needed to come back, from what it
there's
was.
the new Belmont De Villiers area,
Absolutely.
the re-emerging of that.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, because we basically, that whole strip of De Villiers Street, north of Cervantes, we've tried to buy what we could in that area and get it all fixed up, and it's really nice now. Really worked out nice. So we got that going on, and so we've had a lot of people ask us, hey, how do you do this? Because we got several blocks that you bought and fixed up. So we're basically trying to help other people now see that, hey, I can make a change and a difference in my neighborhood,
right,
and I can do kind of be the change that I want to see in the world. And so we're taking people on. We now have a brokerage firm called A Red Door Property, and so we're helping people buy and fix up, and we're teaching people how to create cash flow streams out of their real estate that they've developed.
Right.
So that's our next big focus, is helping other people do what we do, and so we've got several cool clients that's been doing things with us and everything. So we're going to wrap up for a second and have a little break, and then we'll be back with some more information.
Okay.
Awesome.
At Red Door Property, we will teach you how to live for free. How? By fixing old houses and revitalizing neighborhoods. You don't have to be rich or particularly smart, just be willing to put in the work. We've been doing this since 1999, and we can teach you how to do it too. Our mentors will teach you the process of how to take a house from broken to beautiful. And we'll show you how to live for free while doing it.
Top quality used cars with a lifetime warranty. Now get more than ever before at the Pensacola Used Car Superstore. Luxury, economy, domestics, import. We've got used cars with a lifetime warranty. That's right, you're covered for life. But that's not all. You also get identity protection, theft protection, key replacement protection, and paintless dent repair, all at no extra cost. Why buy anywhere else? Experience worry-free driving with a lifetime warranty at the Pensacola Used Car Superstore.
Hi, I'm Ryan Stewart, President of Wellness Water Company. Our mission is to provide the highest quality water for bathing and consumption to residential and commercial customers throughout the United States. Having pure water on demand throughout your home not only saves you money, but also has tremendous health benefits, providing 24/7 peace of mind for you and your family. Quality, service, affordability. Wellness Water Company. Contact us today and let us see what we can do for you.
Pensacola Historic Dream Cottages has beautiful and affordable homes available filled with the charm of yesteryear and the function of today. Since 1999, we've been restoring homes in the North Hill Historical Preservation District in downtown Pensacola, Florida. Each cottage has been transformed into a beautiful dream home, only minutes from interstates in downtown Pensacola. Furnished and unfurnished 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, even roommate house share options. Pick a home to fall in love with at the Pensacola Historic Dream Cottages.
And welcome back to our segment. And I want to again welcome back Mouse. We call her Mouse. It's a fun nickname. Her name's Stephanie Frazier. Thank you again for being here with us.
Thank you.
And basically, we're going to touch bases with you a little bit about how we help people develop cash flow streams out of their real estate holdings, how they can basically buy something and fix it up themselves, and basically, you can live for free. Once you get a few of these things up and running, you don't need that many of them, as long as you can cover your, what your monthly nut is. Basically I tell everybody to add it up. How much money do you have to spend every month to exist on this planet, and figure out that. And usually I divide it by 500, because usually if you take an old house and you fix it up and you get it rented out, you can, cash flow maybe $500 a month, and then, that's basically, if you've got a $2,000 a month overhead, then, you just need 4 houses. And then you be, how they consider, if you don't have to work, to pay your bills, you may not have $1 million in the bank, but you're considered independently wealthy because you don't have to work to pay your bills. So that's how we try to help people, not have to continually be in the workforce all the time. Or if you just want to do a couple of houses and you can supplement your income, you can do that. But people go, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to, renovate. So I want to go to some of my before and afters and kind of show you, what we start with a lot of times. So basically this house, this was like a 6,000 square foot moose lodge. And we gutted that completely to stud, and we jacked it and leveled it. And you can see on the picture on the left, I had to just kind of invent apartments out of that space because there was a huge amount of space. And so I kind of created, you can see the picture on the right, the after. I did kind of a little raised kitchen that was overlooking what I call a New York style loft. And you can see we put lots of really interesting lighting so that you can have everything on dimmers, so you can kind of like do the mood lighting as you'd like to, in your living space. And we use some nice granite countertops. And the faux wall that you see in the back, I just kind of made a suggested bedroom. And it's kind of got, you can see the wall doesn't go all the way to the top. And so you've got this great big room back there that you can use as a bedroom, and then there's a really interesting bathroom. We actually put 2 bathrooms in that. This one, if you can see those big piles of wood on the floor, I usually salvage everything that I can because, free stuff is awesome. And you see those piles, we had the Baptist church downtown was actually redoing their rec center. And those are little 1 foot by, inch and a half sticks of maple tongue and groove flooring that used to be their basketball court, and they were going to throw all that away, and we were like, oh no. So we took like trailer load after trailer load of that stuff, and that's a 6,000 square foot building, and we were actually able to hand put those basketball courts back together and sand them down and do the polyurethane, and it really has a really interesting look to it. There's some more of the big piles of wood. But those are 12-foot ceilings, and we use a lot of times the nice architectural 6-panel door looks and stuff. You can see I did a little pocket door there, and then I always have a nice little laundry room. You can see a little stack washer dryer peeking out of that one area. I always try to pick out some interesting lighting and stuff, some cool ceiling fans and what have you. And if you'll notice above that little pantry, there's what I call a high hide. And anytime I have a tall ceiling, because everybody's always needing good storage, and I always put these little decked high highs, and you can see there's a light up in there that you can pull, and you can just put little curtains over those, and you can just put all your Christmas decorations, or you can do your luggage or things that you don't have to get to on a regular basis. But if that stuff didn't have a place to live, it'd be a very cluttered apartment. So we like to give people tons and tons of place to store things. So that's some of the things that we do, so you can kind of create space as you'd like to, and basically make something that you would want to live in, so that they can you can see a little before and afters here. That was actually originally a nunnery. That was the Catholic diocese used that for many years as they had nun rooms upstairs. And they had like 5 little cubicles, and they had their own little area where they could wash up, and then they shared a bathroom at the end of the hall. And then the downstairs area was used for office space and things like that. And that was, this one here, we call this the tree house. We've named all of our cottages. This was the upstairs section in the back of that house that we made into a bedroom. that's got a nice little, we put in a little half bath upstairs, and we also carved into the attic and then made a really interesting, where there it is. The attic has a big walk-in closet with recessed lights and stuff. Now that ceiling had basically imploded 10 years prior, and it had rained inside that house for about a decade and melted half of the house. And if you tear the house down, that's the bathroom in that house. If you tear the house down, you don't get to build as big of a house because these lots, these old historical lots, are a lot smaller than the code is for nowadays. So you get a bigger house if you restore what you have. And those antique clawfoot tubs, we've actually done, I guess, a little over 50 in antique clawfoot tubs. So that's kind of interesting. Save those, and you can get them for $75, $150, and then fix them up, and people love those things.
Yeah, the tenants really seem to
They
enjoy
really,
those.
really like them. So, we basically have probably, I don't know, 75 rentable units now
Right.
out of that. So, and a lot of times people think, well, I can't afford to go in and buy a house. I've bought houses for as cheap as $4,500 and a computer monitor. I mean, you can afford a house. And the payments, a lot of times when you go to somebody that has a house that's in as bad a shape as you see, basically, you can get people to, say, hey, I'd be happy to own or finance that to you,
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a house and be able to afford a small payment and not even have to deal with the banks,
Right.
And then basically, basically gut them to stud or, reconfigure them and all, and come back with something with good wiring and good plumbing and have some interest to it. So, and I love a lot of the older houses have the tall ceilings and things like that you don't see as much, in the 40s and 50s houses and stuff. So you get something with a lot of flavor that people love to live in.
Right. I
And
think
then,
the big thing for girls is storage.
Storage,
So-
lots of storage. And we're going to wrap this up for this segment, and we'll come back in just a minute after a commercial break.
Pensacola Historic Dream Cottages has beautiful and affordable homes available filled with the charm of yesteryear and the function of today. Since 1999, we've been restoring homes in the North Hill Historical Preservation District in downtown Pensacola, Florida. Each cottage has been transformed into a beautiful dream home, only minutes from interstates in downtown Pensacola. Furnished and unfurnished 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, even roommate house share options. Pick a home to fall in love with at the Pensacola Historic Dream Cottages.
I'm proud to be part of a firm that has represented injured people in this community for over 60 years. I live here, I grew up here, and now I'm raising my own family here. It's an honor and a privilege to work at a firm that has the resources to take on cases of any size. I'm Rachel Gilmer, and I'm a personal injury attorney at the law firm of Levin Papantonio.
Hi, I'm Ryan Stewart, President of Wellness Water Company. Our mission is to provide the highest quality water for bathing and consumption to residential and commercial customers throughout the United States. Having pure water on demand throughout your home not only saves you money, but also has tremendous health benefits, providing 24/7 peace of mind for you and your family. Quality, service, affordability. Wellness Water Company. Contact us today and let us see what we can do for you.
At Red Door Property, we will teach you how to live for free. How? By fixing old houses and revitalizing neighborhoods. You don't have to be rich or particularly smart, just be willing to put in the work. We've been doing this since 1999, and we can teach you how to do it too. Our mentors will teach you the process of how to take a house from broken to beautiful. And we'll show you how to live for free while doing it.
And welcome back for our third and final segment for our first show. We would like to, thank everybody for coming and seeing our show for, that we're doing our very first time. It's exciting. But what we want to do now is kind of bring you guys out to a work in progress. Now, what I've been doing recently is I take a camera and just kind of run through one of our projects that we're working on. This is a renovation project, and it's right up the alley of everything else that we've done. This house was built in 1921, right?
Yes,
And
1921.
right here you can see We've gutted this to stud, and you can see all the new wiring everywhere, and you can also see new gas pipes and stuff. So we try to redo all of the internal working so it works like a brand new home. And when you gut them down to stud like this, you really have a good opportunity to make sure everything is in really good shape. If there's any termite damage, you can repair it. We try to keep some of the flavor, like this little nicho here has the original, we salvaged of course, the original glass doors, and so we're going to be putting those back in, but you'll see right inside of there we put in, when we did the electrical work, there's little plugs in the very back there. You can barely see them, but those plugs are made with that switch box over there, so you can actually turn on the lights inside of those cabinets.
That's
so
nice.
Yeah, it kind of gives it a little display. And this we have done, the floors a lot of times in the kitchens are horrible. And so we have to go in and redo all that because the water will, from the sink eventually leaking, rots and stuff. And like in this little back bedroom, we vaulted the ceiling there. You can see we had that engineered so that it meets today's codes. And there's, while they're open like this, you can put on all the hurricane clips and stuff that help with your insurances and things like that. And then we had this long room that we basically, made into 2 rooms, and we're making a master suite out of this. So that's where we put in the new bathroom. That's the old bathroom that someone had kind of started redoing when we bought the house. And so we are in the process now. You can see all the insulation has already been put in the walls, and the sheetrock has been hung, and they've started doing the actual mud work. And you can see we've kept the old wooden ceilings. And so anytime you can take some of that old charm and keep that in, it really makes a big difference, in your finished product. This is the room that we kind of created, and that's the new wiring and everything. Everything's nice and done with all copper wires. And these windows, now the windows in the house, we're actually restoring the original, what are called 4/1 windows, and we're redoing the sash cords and doing the old weights and everything, so they all open and close just like they originally were intended on. And now this is, the sheetrock has been textured, and the paint is on the walls, and you can kind of see it starting to take a little personality on. We got switch plates and plug plates, and we got lights inside the closets. You can see the little glass shelves down there. We got the electrical panel, fleshed out and everything. Now, slowly but surely, you'll start seeing some personality coming out. Now, the floor restorations, the old floors, a lot of times you have to, salvage the actual wood from the house when you've got some damaged floors. So you actually don't use new wood, you use the actual wood from 1921. So you got 96-year-old wood being repurposed in the same house that it came out of. And that makes a huge difference. And then it matches out really well and works out very nicely. So once you've got your, the wood areas repaired, because you can use those wood salvages to take out the old floor furnaces and lace those back in and make those, see, you can just see where he's walked over the where the floor furnace used to be, and where he's fixing right there is the bathroom had, again, bathrooms with the water and all usually create some rot issues. Basically all that flooring that was damaged, repaired with the original stuff. And when you actually do the final polyurethane and things like that, it starts really looking, it matches so much better. Because the new stuff, it has different grains. I think that might be quarter sawn, which is an old, that's kind of the more desirable way to do the wood cuts for the floors. And you don't find that type of cut, and that exact size is going to be different from 96 years ago. So you got your slow but sure, now we got lighting hung, and the basically coming back to, you can see the floors repaired and everything like that. So now what we're going to do next week is we're going to probably show you the finished product of that. So that's going to be where you've got the fine tuning done, and it's and this is one of the houses we're actually going to sell, because we also do flips as well. So so anyway, that's basically our program, I think, for this first time. I would love to thank all of you for coming out and looking. We've got only a couple more minutes, so anyway, we want you to come back and watch the progress that we're having with these houses that we're working on. We actually have 3 renovations going on at the same time.
It's a big
right
undertaking.
Now. So yeah, so we were working, and we got 3 flips going, and we have one of the ones that we're adding to our system that was just an old house we call Mr. V's Keyline Cottage, and it was an old block cottage that we'll be showing you pictures of, and that's going to turn out really
that
neat.
one will be fun to look at.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to see the restoration on, as well as the after shots and all. And those things rent like hotcakes.
Oh, they do.
'Cause out of the 75 rentable units that we have in the downtown, historical, our North Hill, properties and stuff, I don't think we got a couple open.
Yeah, we have a couple open right now.
Out of the 75 plus, because now that we have a brokerage firm, which is a Red Door property, we've got other people that have wanted us to help them by managing their properties as well, because so we've got well over 100 units that we own or manage.
That we own or manage.
So yeah, if you got properties that you have questions about, or you have issues renting or whatever, we know how to make them desirable and where they'll rent and they'll cash flow. So we can help people buy, we can help people sell, we can help people renovate. So you can get a hold of us, and we can. Mouse is now a sales associate with the Red Door property, and I'm the broker, and so we can help guide you to do it the way we've done things. And we've done a lot of different ways. We found ways not to do it.
Right.
Learn
the hard way.
Yeah, we learned the hard way. That don't work. And then we've got nowadays we've got everything running good and smooth, and so we can teach you from our experience. So again, thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Mouse, for showing up and putting up with me as usual. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Pensacola Historic Dream Cottages.